So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and guests. Welcome to um, our Greensprings School Family Hack Moments. My name is Oluranti Bankole. I am head of school for one of our campuses, and I'm very, very delighted to have you join us today. Today we have a very, very special guest today, um, Mrs. Toyin Onigbajo from August Secrets, and she is going to share some, what her journey has been and her passion to help us take nutrition to another level with our students and everybody in participation of this webinar. So Greensprings School, so I just welcome you again. So Greensprings School is in its 40th year. We've been around for 40 years, living our mission to drive holistic education and help the Nigerian child succeed in every aspect. We have four different expressions. We have our Anthony campus, where the vision started in 1985. We have a purpose-built campus in the Ibeju-Lekki axis. And we have a new campus in Ikoyi. The Ikoyi campus has preschool and elementary students, and the other campuses go from creche to secondary. We also have our sixth form, and we run the prestigious IB diploma program, and that is housed at the Lekki campus. Since inception, we've been an inclusive school. And a few years ago, we are very privileged to be able to open uh, um, a special needs school in the Lekki axis as well to cater to students who are unable to access the curriculum at the other campuses. And there they run a different curriculum called the ASDEN, which is a practical-based curriculum, and they go ahead to do great things. And children still go on to college using that curriculum, but it's just more suited to their immediate needs and learning styles. So we're very excited about our different campuses and our different communities all around. We also have a Greensprings Training College where we help internally. Our teachers help them with professional development, and also teachers and companies from other areas in the country come to learn and gain different certificates. So we're very, very excited to continue to learn. And that is why we have Mrs. Toyin Onigbajo here with us from August Secrets. I'm going to do a very brief introduction because she has a very extensive resume and lots to say. So I'm going to try to compact it a bit to tell you a little bit about her. Now the event today, our family hack moment, what we're trying to do, we're aiming to create a space where different industry experts can provide valuable insights to our parents with an array of resources and advice on various issues that deal with parenting, how to be a successful parent in this climate at this time. Now today, the session, Understanding the Nutritional Needs of Children at Different Developmental Stages, is aiming to delve into the complexities of providing appropriate nutrition for children as they grow and develop. So we're going to explore how nutrition requirements vary across the different stages of childhood development from infancy through adolescence, including meal planning, addressing picky eating habits, navigating dietary restrictions, allergies, and just how to promote healthy eating habits in children in general. And that's something I know that every one of us, a parent or anybody who's a guardian, knows that it's a big challenge managing the children's eating. So, Mrs. Toyin Onigbajo is a renowned child nutrition entrepreneur, and she's the visionary behind August Secrets Limited, a pioneering child nutrition company based in Nigeria. Driven by her passion for solving nutrition and food security issues during the first 1,000 days of an African child's life, Ms. Toyi is dedicated to developing nutritious and affordable food products and resources sourced from African crops. She has a master's degree in international affairs from the University of Lagos and executive education from the Stanford University Graduate School of Business, SEED. She is the author of August Secret's Meal Plan, a child's recipe book featuring African ingredients, and her products can be found in Nigeria, West Africa, and even North American stores. So there's a lot of market penetration there. She has been recognized for her various outstanding contributions and has received numerous local and international accolades, including Why Niger's Most Inspiring Women 2018 and 2023, and also Power Woman African List of 2021. August Secrets Limited has also been honored with local and global awards, including the Food Safety Award by Royal DSM International in 2018. Her expertise has been sought after by various media outlets, including the Guardian Women and Business Day. She has also participated in global panels and programs such as accelerating the SDG Goal 2 of ending hunger and malnutrition in Thailand in 2018. Furthermore, Toynbee has contributed to academic literature with her published articles and papers, including Curbing Child Malnutrition Using Traditional Recipes and Foods in the Kenyan International Journal of Nutrition and Dietetics. So I would like us to welcome Mrs. Toyin Onigbajo to the session today. It's very nice to have you with us today, ma'am. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, now I can hear you.
so
Yeah.
excited to be here. Thank you very much, Denisola. Thank you for, and also thank you, Olurati. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
glad to be
So
here.
what we would like is for you to just tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, how you started it, because you have a very interesting story as well. And
Mhm.
I was also reading about why you do it, what you aim to achieve. I think that's also very interesting. And then we'll open the floor up for some Q&A from our parents and the audience. So over to you.
All right, thank you very much. I'm just going to start before I share my slides. I don't intend to use up the time for my slides because I typically believe that Q&As are better than when you just go around just saying too many things. So, but my name is Toyin, as has been introduced. I'm a mom of three kids. And my first son, when I had him outside of the country. And then you know how it is with first children, you buy everything, even the diapers, we sorted out everything for the first 6 to 8 months. And then the food as well, we bought all sorts of food. And then I was supposed to resume to work. He turned 6 months and he didn't take any of the foods. Like, it felt like, it felt dramatic. I tried everything, every single thing, from the popular ones on the shelf and the ones that we brought, and then he refused it all. A bit of a background, I've always been that, being a first daughter, so I've always been that big auntie, big sister who is always making different snacks for children, healthy snacks and all that. So, and then when my own child wasn't eating, it felt like, oh, Tony, over to you. We expect that you're going to make all sorts of food for him. But then, to be honest, it didn't occur to me. The only thing that came to mind was pap. The only thing that came to mind was pap. And then, so out of curiosity, my question was, we know that pap is the traditional food which almost every child grew up on. And then there's this packaged food that has got carrots and sweet potato puree, that has got vegetable mashups. Why would a child take only pap, for the first 5 years and then start taking all sorts of, other snacks? How would a child take only grains, from 6 months to 2 years? So that was how it all started. Like, look, I can't give my child only pap. If I had wanted to, I wasn't going to fill up, about 5 bags of different kinds of cereals. So, and then the next question was, if my child is not taking any of this packaged food, if my child probably has an allergy or he has an aversion to all of these foods, the question is, what then is my child going to eat? And that was how August Secret started. To bridge that gap for health conscious parents who don't want so much of packaged food for their children, or the children who have refused to take this packaged foods in the first place. So, and then there was no food that answered the question for my child in the market. And then so I decided to try. I was working in the communications for about 8 years. So I didn't intend to go into manufacturing, but here I am, 6 years plus, manufacturing Jaden cereals. We named the cereals after him to keep our original story, to keep our original motivation. And so on the shelves today, in the baby section or in the children's section, you'll find Jaden cereals. So it's not just one of those, oh, let's just start making something. Let's just start a business. It was a very courageous step for me. And I think I find that inspiring even more for myself and also for young women like me whom, went through an issue and then found an opportunity to make out of it. If anyone ever told me 10 years ago that I was going to end up in manufacturing, I would have probably thrown a fist because I have got no business with that. But here we are today. August Secret is a team of 40 direct young people, 39 in addition to me, whom we report to the factory every day to manufacture these cereals and sell them nationwide across our e-commerce platforms and across popular supermarkets, inspiring families to make healthier choices for their children. Eventually, the goal is to raise healthier children. We along the journey, we found that there was a need, there was a demand because we started having parents of children with special needs, parents of even special dietary needs, coming to us to say, look, your business is filling a gap for us. And then that is actually what keeps us motivated, keeps us in business every single day. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my slide. Okay, so I'm just going to go right into it again. I was speaking about the introduction. Like I mentioned before, starting with my story, looking at the fact that the only alternative that I had left was, okay, so if he's not taking all those Oyinbo food, just give him pap. That was supposed to be the response. That was supposed to be what is required to do. But then we looked at it from two angles. The very first angle is, which was what I was curious about. Why would a child eat food that is simply two grains, corn and sorghum, all, their infancy up until they get to start school? That is not enough. That's just carbohydrates. Where is the protein? Oh, they're going to take you with milk. And then when the milk gets finished in the house, what happens? Or when the milk is insufficient, what happens? Or what if the child is a child that is allergic to lactose, who doesn't take milk? What happens? Pretty much just saying that if this packaged foods can have, like I mentioned before, carrots and chicken, why can't our own African children eat that if they don't want to eat the pre-made ones? What if they want to eat something that is much more closer to the soil, which is closer to our African soil? And then the next one is, do we not have this food here in Africa? My child has chosen not to eat the ones that are imported. Does that mean the child is going to starve? The answer is no. Certainly, I wasn't going to let my child starve. 80% of the brains of young children develop early, and the diet has tremendous impact on their health now and in the future. Majority of the deficiencies that arise now for children are either permanent or extremely difficult to correct in the nearest future. Most of the diseases that we know today are commonly linked to diet and lifestyle choices. It's interesting that now young children are starting their periods as early as 7, 8, 9, which didn't used to exist before now. And even menopause is arriving earlier for women in that same light. And some of the other hormonal imbalances that we have, mostly common these days, can be linked to diet and lifestyle. Of course, we know that diet and lifestyle is not the only contributor, but also this is a major contributor. What is the problem we're trying to address? Please give me a second.
Okay.
Second, please. Okay, thank you. What is the problem that we're trying to address? According to UNICEF, many children are not receiving the necessary nutrition at the right times, in the right amount, or with the required diversity in their diet, which is the example that I gave about pap. Now, I am not condemning pap. I am just saying that, are we trying to say that it is only pap that a child should eat? The answer is no, because we have a lot of variety of diet, even from our own African foods, from our own Nigerian foods here, that we didn't even know that a child is supposed to eat to be able to develop to their full potential. The intake of unhealthy processed foods and drinks is as high as 60% in most young children's diets. From the drinks to the food to the junk that a lot of children eat nowadays, it's really, really alarming. And it is something that actually calls for urgent attention. In Africa today, over 32% of children are actually malnourished. From Nigeria to across Africa, it is worse in some other countries. And then the question is, poverty is a contributor of up to 60% of malnutrition. But what about the remaining 40%? It is you and I, privileged parents, who can afford a plate of healthy food, at least to a level. But then why are the children not having this food? It's simply because of highly processed foods that we now have access to. Children go weeks taking only noodles, because of then the next point, which is too many busy parents giving unhealthy foods to children to boost their self-esteem and cover up for the time that they were away. I'm a very busy parent, and sometimes I'm 1 week away from the house, even as a mom. And then the question is, getting back, if I were not an enlightened mom, maybe what could come as the first reflex or reflexive action to do is to say, oh, let me buy lots of junks, candies, and all of that for the children, and not even bother if they're having enough healthy food or not, simply because I really don't want to do much because I've been away. So I don't want to be that mom who, wants to caution the kids too much, that sort of thing. I believe you understand what I'm talking about. An unhealthy diet can impact a child's academic performance and mental health. And I really would say that I've seen this happen with my son. He's very picky with food. He's very picky with food. I was able to solve the problem, but now he's within the age range we're going to speak about, which is the 6 to 10, where they now have choices. They want to eat, they want to eat what they want to eat. So we're at that stage back again, and then we're trying to see how we're trying to see how we can help with his diet, but most importantly, to be able to ensure that his academic performance and his mental health can be boosted or even made better with the right kind of diet. And this is a possibility. I've seen it happen, and we have actually seen tremendous changes. Some common unhealthy, not so healthy foods in children's diets today. These are some of the culprits. Like my slide has mentioned, not so healthy. So maybe we want to serve with caution, or maybe we don't want to serve at all. These are very common. They are all around us. My kids take some of them, but in very, 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 very limited amounts, because I understand the dangers that, are in there. So ketchups and dips, jams, chocolate spreads. It's alarming that some chocolate spreads contain only 10% chocolate. The rest are junk. If it was probably 60% chocolate, it would have been better. But some of the spreads contain, if we have like say pineapple jams, the actual pineapple in it is sometimes as low as 3%. And then the rest is just sugar. It's just sugar. So, oh, my child doesn't eat sugar, but he takes jam. Well, the child is actually eating a lot of sugar, right? So we have our beverage drinks. We know them popular ones, the ones we take with milk. Sodas and packed juices, even the ones for children, are so high in sugar. It's really alarming. So we want to serve in moderation. Mini yogurt packs, those tiny yogurts, some of them are more like less than a quarter, which that is actually milk, which is supposed to be the major ingredient in yogurt, which is supposed to provide the children calcium. But then some of them are actually not even yogurts. Sausages, except for the healthy ones. The healthier ones have lesser additives and salt. The rate of salt and sodium in this case in sausages is really alarming. We want to serve them in moderation. We see online sometimes where some parents pack food for children and put two sausages. And I'm just like, no, please, no, please. I know you love your child. In fact, you love your child more than I do, but please, maybe you don't even know. So it's safe to say that maybe the parents are not aware, which is why I had to list out, some of this culprits just so we know. So imagine a child taking one mini pack of yogurt to school and then having some beverage drinks in the morning and then having two slices of bread with three or two sausages. And then the parent is happy, oh, I've given my child healthy food, or the nanny is excited. No, that child has only succeeded in taking too much of unhealthy food for the day. And this can actually impact their academic performance. It can impact their mental health. It can impact their self-esteem. Potato chips and crisps, high level of sodium. I give my children, but they know it's not, you can find my child eating potato chips, okay? So not, oh, Tony, but you told us not to know. No, they're going to have them as treats. And that will be once in a blue moon, once in a like, oh, you've done something really amazing. To start with, you have to know that it's not so healthy. So my son has gotten to a point where he's telling me, Mommy, can't we have unhealthy food sometimes? I'm like, look, see, no food is really unhealthy or bad or poisonous like that, but you just need to know the limits. So, but when we don't even know the culprits, when we don't even know those foods that actually are not so healthy, we wouldn't be able to make better choices for our children. And then pizzas and wraps. Of course, we have healthy wraps, chicken wraps with some lettuce and some bits of mayonnaise. Some bits of ketchup is really not bad. I serve that to my kids to school as well. But then we limit those drinks and all of that. So what then is the way forward? The first thing is what we're doing now, nutrition education, understanding the food groups. And then the next thing is the choice of what to shop in your pantry. So if we know better, we'll do better. It's a logical explanation for why nutrition education needs to really go far and wide. It's the same thing that I said also. I don't believe a child should take only pap for their entire infancy. No, the child should actually be exposed to as much healthy food as possible because it's going to help the child develop a healthy relationship with food. And then even when you're not there, they're able to make better choices. Sleep and outdoor play also play an important role in a combination to provide that holistic lifestyle change. So a child is eating healthy food, and then they also have the healthy food is going to help them, it's going to help boost their sleep. And then, of course, outdoor play and exercise as well. Outdoor play actually plays an important role in helping to boost sleep, good sleep. And then meal planning saves time, saves stress, and also saves money. So the picture to the right there is the August meal plan, which is one of our products. Understandable for busy parents, but as we say, we need all of the support that we can get. I'm also a super busy parent as well. So most of the time, whatever I share with other parents, trust me, is something I've also gone through myself as well. So the meal plan is a perfect example. Planning the meal, understanding what should go into the meal or not. And I also know some parents who also have some some foods for their children that they, that are really banned in their homes. For example, I know parents who have said, you know what, no to noodles. Noodles is just like once in a year in our house, which is really great because of some of the ingredients in these foods. All right. So the developmental stages, newborn stage, infancy, 3 months, toddlerhood, early childhood. And it's interesting. I believe that a typical parent will have one or two of these groups in your house. So for example, I have toddlerhood, I have school age in my house right now. No adolescents yet, but I know that very soon they're going to get there. So we're just going to touch on them. So the nutritional requirements actually varies across various stages. It varies across these factors. Higher activity level means higher calorie needs. All right, and then the age also matters as well. For younger children, younger children would need more calcium than probably older children. All right, so for gender as well, adolescent girls require more iron than boys due to the hormonal changes and menstruation. During menstruation, adolescent girls lose a lot of blood, and also so it tells on other the nutrients that they lose in their bodies, and then so it's not uncommon to find an adolescent girl child more tired than the boy, and then as we say, when I know that that doesn't happen anymore, but back in those days, they're like, oh, carry the plate in front of your brother. No, it's the brother that should carry the plate in front of me, the adolescent girl, because, I have periods, I have hormonal changes. I need, much more support because of things like this. So in the first 6 months of life, exclusive breastfeeding is encouraged as much as possible. Otherwise, infant formula can be provided as an alternative. And then for parents who need to resume work, sometimes they get confused to say, my child needs to start taking solids before I resume work. Sometimes you are the one who needs to resume work. The child is not ready to take solids. So please go ahead and set formula. And then just try to introduce the child to food by watching hunger cues and making sure that you then guide your decision to feed them. Children would typically provide guidance on when and how to feed them. Now to another very critical stage, which is the 6-month-old. This is often very complex for young parents, new parents sometimes, but this is more like the category of micronutrients that is required. So if we're talking about energy, we're looking at sweet potatoes. So you now see what I was saying about just giving pap now. It doesn't want all this your Igbo food. Those were the things I was hearing at the time. But it's really not just about that. We have sweet potatoes in abundance here. So my child needs a mix of sweet potato, which will provide energy, and also needs some mashed up ugu with that sweet potato, or some mashed up mackerel fish in that sweet potato, which will provide vitamin A, provide zinc, and provide iron, because these are very, very essential. What would iron do? It will help fight infection, it will boost brain development, it will boost immune function, and energy will, of course, provide rapid growth. We want to build their brains for them to start, becoming those smart kids from 6 months to 1 year. So how do I serve? Because again, like I said, this is more like the complex stage. Some children, so in 2 ways, the summary of this slide is pretty much, some children want to feed themselves, which is baby-led weaning. So they want those pancakes, they want those a stick of papaya in their hands. They want to eat the watermelon on their own. They don't want you to mash up anything for them. So this is the stage where you find that kind of complexity. So, but how do you then determine the portion size? Of course, portion size varies according to how the child wants to eat. Some children actually eat more than others, but pretty much just having that guide to know that, or to be sure if that child is actually eating enough. I must also mention that the factors that contribute to children also getting the right nutrition at this stage, shockingly, are hugs and good sleep. So I know that our grandmas used to say that, oh, what's in Molara, meaning you carry the child too much. that closeness between the child and the parent is very critical to their growth and development. So a child that is always left with, you just give that child one stick of sausage or just give that child one fruit and just leave the child alone is not getting enough optimal nutrition. That child needs to be hugged. That child needs to be brought close. It helps them feel safe. That child needs to sleep better. It helps them boost their brain development. It helps them even boost their mental health. It's very, very important right from this stage. So it's not just only about the food. A child can eat loads of food and then a child is abandoned. If a child feels abandoned, if you like give them a full drum of food, it's still going to have that same adverse effect. So I needed to mention that. I always correct my mother-in-law to say that, mommy, see, babies need that carrying. So please carry as much as you can. Carry as much as you can. So common feeding challenges at this stage. Food refusal. So there's always that hula baloo. And this is actually where this is the core of what we do. This is the core of August Secret. So every day, we're always settling fights between mothers and their babies because that child does not want this one and he wants that one. So we're always that referee. Food refusal is a major issue here. And then some parents are like, what do I do? And now that was how gossiping started. So I always tell moms, don't worry, you're in the right place. We're going to find a way. So talking about textures, talking about some children prefer different textures. My first two kids, they don't like to see boiled eggs eyeball to eyeball, but they like scrambled eggs. So I just add some milk, scramble the eggs, or I add some crayfish to the eggs. I give them. But my last child can actually eat like 4 boiled eggs at a sitting. It's the same egg, but different serving. No need to stress myself. All right. So, and also for Jaden cereals, that's why it can be served in various ways. So waffle, different kinds. If you check our website, you check our page, you're going to see different kinds, and it's different kinds of recipes. And that is actually some of the requirements for the 6 months to 1 year. So this is an example of what it looks like, of what a healthy plate looks like for a child. Let me take it from my very far right. Look at the waffles. Instead of just giving the waffles with a multi-purpose flour or just going ahead to buy a waffle mix. I mean, nothing bad in buying a waffle mix, but just pretty much understanding that or what most waffle mixes over the shelf contain just flour and sugar. I found a Nigerian waffle and pancake mix. I love what they did. You know what they did? They put a caveat there to say that this please kindly add a protein source to this waffle mix, right? That what is in there is not sufficient. And I was like, oh, this is really great. This is a manufacturer that has the health of the customers in mind. So for Frutamil waffles, this was actually made by one of our customers, added some peanut butter, that's a protein sauce. The base is oats and then some fruit. That's some balanced diet. So a child likes to eat waffles. It's not until when you slice vegetables in it. Variety doesn't have to be complex. This plate of waffle already contains everything the child needs to eat and enjoy a balanced diet. The same thing with the one in the middle. We have the mixed grain is a potato cereal, and then we have apples by the side, and then some of JD's vegetables, which is also one of our products as well. So that cookie you're seeing there, we have dried carrot and dried moringa in them, simply because of those children who want to eat only biscuit and they don't want to eat their vegetables. So what did we do? We dried the vegetables and baked them into a cookie. And then the last but not the least is this same Frutamil is what was used to make the waffle. And then we had the steamed carrot and then some steamed chicken and then some yogurt. This gives an overview, like an idea of what a balanced diet looks like for a child. Okay, I am already getting some questions. I'm going to address them shortly. Thank you very much. So with this, it provides the parent alternatives, options to be able to give the children what they truly need. And then you don't have to start making them yourself from the scratch. Within 2 minutes, all of this is ready, it is very possible to also make them ahead for children and toddlers. So now for toddlers, yes, the troublesome threes and twos. At this point, at this stage, the children like to they have more energy, so they're walking, they're talking, so they need to eat more. The needs for toddlers is similar to what we have for children between 6 months and 1 year. And it's pretty much just sitting down to look at how to explore this. And I often say that we cannot have money. We cannot have money and our children will not eat healthy. It is a must. It is a must our children must eat healthy. So what I do when I travel is that as much as possible, I only bring back treats when I come back from a trip. I don't leave the treats in the house because I know that my husband and the nanny or grandma, everyone will just, the children feel like, they have a free opportunity to eat and eat treats and they won't want to eat their healthy food. So what I have done is to, with nutrition education, which is a way forward, I already have that, is to ensure that what is in my pantry is actually what you're going to eat. So that's pretty much it. If I don't have any unhealthy food in my pantry, you can't go, my child can't cross the road and go do shopping at ShopRite. So it's in my hands to make sure that the options that I have available for them is within what I know that is healthy, and because I also understand the impact of this healthy food for the children. So for leafy vegetables is appearing again for iron. It is very critical, even for that adolescent girl in your house that doesn't like to eat vegetables. Please help me beg them that Toyin said that vegetables is very, very important because it's a help boost their iron deficiency, which is very possible for them. Then we also have cheese, we have yogurt, we have milk. Avocado is also very good at this stage. So this is an example of a lunchbox pack by a mom. So to the left is fried rice and chicken. That's like basic, but very healthy. And then the cookies in that bowl is a cookie made from one of our products. I'm not gonna lie, I call myself the queen of recipes, but this particular customer beat us to it. This cookie you're seeing was supposed to come from a product that was supposed to use to make like a pudding, like a porridge, like oats. And then she turned it around to make cookies. Guess what she added? Peanut butter. And the cookies took 5 minutes to get ready. Just 2 ingredients, 5 minutes to get ready. And it can stay in the freezer till the kids finish it. I was so impressed. And of course, there's grapes by the side. So with this, you are able to sort of have that control over what your child eats. And it still looks beautiful. It still looks amazing. And like I must say, I'm going to be honest, we are seeing more and more parents embrace this healthy lifestyle for their children now. We're just hoping that it actually continues. Portion sizes for children 1 to 3, pretty much the same thing with children that are coming up to 1 year as well. And also children at this stage as well, they have varying appetites. Some children, and now this is just going to lead me to the nutritional challenges of children at this stage. Food pocketing is something that a lot of parents complain about with children at this stage. Picky eating, what do we do at this stage? Let us model healthy eating for them. Let us make mealtime more fun. Let them serve themselves. It does work as well. And then this is very important. Include at least one of their favorites in every meal. Okay. So if, for example, you want to take out sausages from their diet, you want to limit sausages to once in 6 months, which is what I have done in the house. Sausages is just once in 6 months, to be honest, or maybe sometimes once in 8 months, or even not at all. But of course, there's this healthy sausage brand. I think there are about 2 healthy sausage brands now. You can tell that companies are actually being, coming up and creating alternatives, which is really great. If we find a healthy sausage brand, why not? We go for it. So if I know you like sausage, I found a healthy sausage brand. I'm going to serve you one piece of sausage and one beans because I want you to eat beans, but I'm just going to put that side of plantain and sausage that I know that you love because that will encourage you to even try the food in the first place. Let them go shopping with you. Involve them in the kitchen, or if you have a garden, this would really work as well. Same thing goes for preschoolers. Preschoolers are also much more active than toddlers. We want to ensure that they get the right nutrients and the right energy that fit into who they are growing to become. We want a lot more oily foods at this time. Now, I didn't mean fried foods. I mean avocado. I meant, so think of an avocado toast. Mashed up avocado with some butter and then toast it up. This will be very lovely for breakfast. Very lovely for breakfast. At this stage, you get a lot of iron deficiency, so you want to do a lot of meat and vegetables. If they don't like them, you can cut them up into tiny bits. You can mash them up. At this point, they have a choice. You want to start packing these foods off your pantry. I'm just going to rush quickly to the pre-teens and the teens because time is really running out. 6 to 10 years, these guys here are getting closer to the teenage age, and then they begin to have likes and dislikes. Like I said, my first two kids don't like boiled eggs. If I want them to have boiled eggs, I have to sit with them. So, or otherwise, I just make scrambled eggs. It's the same thing. So, but then they get to start getting choosy. They don't like peanut butter as well. So, I am the queen of making them peanut butter toast or whatnot. But they don't like, they don't like it. So, I have to just encourage them. This is the time that they get to choose. But because we know better as parents, we want to ensure that they have this. So, milk, yogurt, seed-based foods like peanut butter, fish is very essential at this point. So, think of a sweet potato porridge with some mackerel fish in it. I make this in bulk in this house. And they've called me all sorts of names because they are at that stage now. But because I know what's best for them, like I said, sweet potato, think of a sweet potato porridge or a rice with mackerel fish or some eggs. Egg fried rice works so well with some cheese and butter. This is the adolescent stage. This 6 to 10 years old, rather, the twin age and then the adolescent age have about similar challenges. At this point, mommy and daddy is always on the run. The kids are also on the run. Hey, 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 get up. Make sure have you had your bath? Do that. And then that early morning issues. This is the time when it's likely for them to miss breakfast, but we don't want them to miss breakfast. It is very essential that they don't miss breakfast. So these are the examples of food that they can eat. I mentioned before, think of an avocado mashed up with butter, with bread. Think of yogurt with some fruits on top of it. We want to, as much as possible, eliminate too much of sugary cereals. We want to do more of oats. We want to do more of pap with milk and yogurt at this point. Lastly, for adolescents, this is a significant period. I'm going to rush over this. Thankfully, I had mentioned this as well. This is not a time to allow that teenage girl, that 13-year-old girl to eat whatever she likes. But the truth is, sometimes that is what she wants. She wants to eat 2 packs of noodles and 3 bottles of soda. That's what she wants. That's what she wants. But we need to encourage them to say, look, girl, at this point, you're going through a lot of hormonal changes and you need as much nutrients in your body as possible. This is what it looks like. This slide provides an idea on what she should be eating, or even teenage boys as well, go through a number of hormonal changes, and they need even much more nutrients than adults. They need it feels like one is having babies again. They need iron, they need foods that are rich in zinc, calcium, healthy fats, carbohydrates, and protein. At those points, they also are grappling with self-esteem issues. But if they don't eat well, it can affect their mental health. Um, Sugary and salty foods spark anxiety. And these are kids that are writing tough exams. They need all of the healthy foods that they can possibly get. These are the kids who are, studying heavy textbooks, courses for their sixth form examinations. I tell you that their diet contributes a whole lot into this lifestyle that has started for them. This is a time to avoid skipping meals. This is a time to, especially breakfast, as much as possible, even dinner. Um, Also to ensure that they take at least of every of the food groups. And that is that. I hope that I'm going to be able to address your questions as much as I can. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so, oops, sorry, 1 second. Do you mind stopping the slideshow?
Okay.
Okay, so yeah. So thank you so much. It was a very in it was really packed with a lot of relevant information. There's a lot that we really should be thinking about when we're talking about nutrition and the children. And it's obvious that this is your passion. And it's also obvious that you've done so much in this space, and we're just excited to be learning from you. There are a few questions that have come in, but what I just to kind of summarize one or two things, when you were when you logged out earlier, we just made that connection between the first step, which is when there's a problem, finding a way to solve the problem, because this came out of a need to solve a personal problem that you had with your children, and supporting them nutritionally. So I think that's very important that our audience knows that whenever there is an issue, one, they have their resources out there, or they could be the resource because there are also other people that might be facing that same issue. So that was a good one. I know
Thank
that you
you.
talked about some of the health issues that come out of poor diet. So if parents are asking, what are some of the signs or some of the things I should pay attention to? What does this look like? What should they look out for to connect the health issues their children are facing that might stem out of a poor diet? So could you just give us one or two examples, please?
Okay, the very first one, especially let me start with toddlers. Toddlers and children between 6 months and a year. So I'll just break them into two.
Sure.
For younger children, poor sleep, and poor immunity. They get sick
Yeah.
almost every other 3 market days. One injection, medicines, drugs all over the place. Meanwhile, they actually just need good food or better food. That's for younger children. And then for children from like 6 upwards, there's more anxiety. If you notice, so much anxiety, um, restlessness, restlessness, even like I'm looking for the word rebellion. Yes, that's the word. So children were always fighting, quarreling. Oh, this person stepped on me. Of course, aside the normal, some of those things are mostly normal. But a child who is having difficulties concentrating in class, this is very critical. So if that child is having difficulties concentrating in class, it could be a sign of not having the right nutritious breakfast,
Yeah.
or even lunch during the day. Mondays to Fridays are usually fast paced. So if you're not intentional, you just end up, you know, so instead of those sugary cereals most of the time, we want to do more of like oats based, want to do more of like grains and all of that. That will sort of like help. And even the avocado that I shared about. And
Yeah.
then that child has, even if it's just 2 slices in a day
Sure.
and a glass of milk, will really go a long way. And then there'll be changes. Because like I said, I
Sure.
noticed I tried it for my kids. It worked. Yes. So those
Okay.
are the major, yeah.
Major, thank you. So those were some very interesting ones. That rebellion one really caught my attention, but maybe we'll unpack it at a different time. But I think, in terms of bringing it back to the school, we do see that, so at Greensprings School we serve lunch, right?
Okay.
We try to serve a balanced lunch. So there's a protein, there's the starch, there's vegetables, and there's the fruit, because we understand what makes that balanced nutrition for the children. And of course,
Mhm.
different children, picky eaters, I don't want this, I don't want that, which is normal.
Yeah.
But what we find is that, the children who bring their snacks to school, we've had occasions where we've had to talk to parents because what they give them from snacks affects the academics, like you're talking about, because they crash, right? So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's a combination of breakfast, which is high sugar, and then the
Mm-hmm.
snack, which they have maybe like 2 hours, 3 hours when they come into school. So by noon, we start to see
Mm-hmm.
behavioral problems, loss in concentration, irritability, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
restlessness. They're just not ready or able to learn. So I think this is very, very important. Is very important. So maybe my next question is, speaking for all the parents on the call, Mrs. Toyin Onigbajo. Yes. When I had my children, I read everything you're talking about and I understand and I believe it, but it's just not practical. How do I balance being a working mom, a busy mom, being pulled in so many places, and having a picky eater, also worrying about their grades, worrying about the different activities they're a part of. Our day is just so busy, right? So how do we, and I know this is important, right? How do I prioritize? What can you do to make my life easier, to help my children and set them up for success? So you tell us, right? Because we need help.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Like I said before, it's easier for me to talk about this because I am
Experienced it.
super busy as well. I am that mom who is, you know, very busy. So, but what I do that is practical is this. It's from the food that I make available.
In the house.
So I know that the kids need protein, right? So this is what I do. And I know that, you are eating and I have to sit with you. I don't even have that patience. I'm just like, you need to eat this food. So I have a webinar now. Today is Saturday. And then they're having dinner. Maybe they're going to have dinner now. And I know that there's a child who is going to take out the chicken I put on that rice and fling it out. It's annoying. So this is what I do. I make sure that I shop the healthy foods and I know them. So this is what I do. There are certain things that must be in my pantry every month to give me that rest of mind. If anything happens, anything, I'm good to go. So I have chicken. I get chicken breasts. And then I debone the chicken breast. I stir fry, and then I debone. I cut it into like flaky pieces that you can't pick it out. So if anybody is cooking rice, oh, you're cooking rice. By the time I mix it inside jollof, you will not even know. Yeah, you've in short, that child has already finished eating the jollof. So what I then do, I then have it's in a Ziploc. Then I have peanut butter and I have Jaden cereals. Those three, Those are my bets. Then I have mayo and then maybe ketchup. So if I want to do chicken wrap, I bring the chicken out. Now, when I mean chicken, I also mean beef as well. So those sausages, those beef means, not the one for sausage roll, oh, the actual beef means, eh? That's
Yeah.
not a problem. I will just stir fry everything at once. I'm just going to stir fry it and have it in containers. It's in the freezer. So what you anybody is cooking anything, any nanny or any grandma or whoever, chef is cooking anything. I have already broken down everything. So just dip your spoon in that chicken meat, put it, just add it, and go. That child. So if that child opens their lunch box at school, you're just gonna see plain rice, and it's look like this is rice you like. Don't worry, I got you. But that rice has got some veggies in it. So the same way, I just cut up those veggies and then mix it with the chicken. So at every point in time in my fridge, you would find a bowl of chicken concussion or beef or fish. So this month I can do mackerel fish, which is Titus fish. I'll just very tiny, you would never know. I'll add it to the food. In fact, you would have eaten. So you're having the balanced diet and everybody is happy. So that's what
Yeah.
I do, to be honest. I don't cut up
Yeah.
lettuce,
Yeah.
others
Yeah.
because I know that
So yeah, so
people
we
don't
need
want
we
that.
need we need to sneak it in there, and
Yes,
not give them a choice. I like that, and I think that
yes.
resonates with me, and I know it resonates with a
Mm-hmm.
lot of moms on the call. Um, so um, in terms of so I want us to go to a question. There's a hand up. One of the questions that came in. Um, Thank you for the enlightening session. My question is this: how do you make a preteen who eats mostly junk food with minimal whole foods begin to eat healthy meals, especially when she doesn't like real food? She also seems to be fine health-wise and academically. Should she be left to outgrow the junk food? So basically, a
Wow.
teenager who already has bad eating habits, how do we help that child um, pick up better eating habits, or do we just hope for the best that the child will outgrow it? Do you have any advice for that?
Mhm. Okay, thank you for that. I would go by that child can be spoken to,
Yeah,
and I think that we can try to make what is coming to my mind now is starting small. So let's start with fresh juices, for example. Let's say, you know what, let's do a maybe out of a month, we can do a no junk challenge
yeah,
for the week, and then you get a reward. So maybe in your house, you have a TV limitation or screen time limitation. You can say, okay, you know what? In exchange for you having this, of course, the child understands why, that is being done. They know, look, listen, Kemi or Patricia, you need to know that this is not good for you. All right. Now, the child may be fine academically, the child may be fine health wise, which is very good. I mean, we see that a lot. But what about their mental health? What about in the world of work? What about they could be smarter? What about they could even be healthy food evangelists? They could even set up their own smoothie chain
balance.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
So there are
yeah,
so many other possibilities out there for healthy. Nobody goes wrong with taking healthier food. So it's pretty much them understanding to say, you know what, babes, first you need to know that this is this way, and then what I'll recommend is a reward and sort of like a challenge. Okay, so no soda challenge. We're
oh.
currently doing a no soda challenge in this house in this heat. It's not easy.
So it's about getting
Oh my God.
buy-in. It's about also
Yes,
getting buy-in
so we're
from the
going to
children.
get yes so we're going to
Yeah,
get fresh juices now. We're going to stock up fresh juices
yeah, to get
because
buy-in.
if there's no alternative, it could be
Yeah,
tiring. And yes, so let's have more pineapple juices and things like that as an alternative. The same thing too with the food. If there are alternatives, yeah, healthy alternatives.
yeah. So I have a question that can teenagers also take the Jaden cereals, or is it for the younger kids? Do you have products for older children?
Yes, teenagers can take it as well. And that's because they can have it for breakfast. I'm not gonna lie. We are a brand for young children, right? But we
Yeah.
did a survey mid last year and I was shocked. I was shocked. Um, to start with, even children, and we say this as a joke, we say children from 0 to 99 years. So even if you're 60, you can take it.
So
All right.
adults
So,
can
but
take it.
yeah, so adults can take it. So, but even understanding that it's not a joke, it's really real. So they can have it for breakfast,
Sure,
add some milk to it, and then they're good to go. It is
sure.
very good. Even for dinner, if you want a light dinner, you can have it. If you don't want to, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think in line with the previous question, one of the things that when we're talking, when it comes up in the educational space, when we're talking to children, there's one of the barriers is a negative self-image, and you alluded to that as well earlier, one of the
Yeah.
consequences. And what we found is it stems from parents speaking negatively about their own bodies in front of children, and how we as a community have labeled food as good or bad. And one of the things you also mentioned, so I just wanted to draw it out, is that there isn't good or bad food. It's about moderation. I mean, there's better food, right? But I think it's important that we
Yeah.
don't label foods as bad food, because we know, especially teenagers, once you say, don't do this, this is bad, it becomes more attractive to them. So what we need to really
Right.
be teaching is moderation and educating them, to encourage healthy eating habits. So I think in addition to everything, the words we say and how we communicate is just as important as every other thing,
Mm,
as the things we're putting in front of the children to ingest.
mm.
One of my last questions is, how do we find these products? How can we, when I introduced you, I talked about how you had a mission to help a million African children solve the food challenges, right? Food access challenges. How is that going? And how can we also work to support our own children and then children in Nigeria and Africa at large?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been an amazing journey. Um, what we're looking at for the year, for instance, is we're currently in about 350 outlets nationwide. So for Lagos, for instance, we're in popular outlets, ShopRite, Ebano, Just Try, Jendo, Blanco, all of those outlets, even the smaller outlets as well were there across various locations, from Festac to Lekki to Abule Egba to as many areas where parents are health conscious. And then it's not only, which was what I mentioned earlier, parents are, really be taking that challenge now, to just want the best in terms of nutrition for their children. So we've been getting that as well. So in terms of our plans are looking into the future. We hope to do more of this. We hope to partner more with schools, if possible, offer discounts. It's really a thing. It works. We do that a lot, to be honest. We do
Discounts are
offer
good.
the discounts to schools. Yes, please. Yes, please. So we can come up with something where if you use a code, maybe Greensprings, you're able to get, or we can come over to the school, we can do like practical sessions. And that way, I mean, by virtue of the fact that you're a Green Springs parent, you get much more value. And also in terms of partnering with other similar parents who do things like this. So for example, if you have juices, if you sell juices, smoothies, healthy food, we can collaborate, a lot, opportunities that I see already, that is possible. Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so, so, so much, Mrs. Toyin Onigbajo. It's been a great, great evening spent with you. Lots of great nuggets and lots of things to ponder on and reflection. And I know that all our parents on the line have appreciated it. There's still some questions coming in. Unfortunately, we've gone way past our time. People have to go
Mhm.
shred the chicken and put it in the rice so that the children can have dinner, right?
Yes, please.
So if you have any questions, I know that the team, our team that put this together, would probably reach out again to parents, especially since August Secrets has said that she's going to share some kind of discounts with us. So we're very, very
Yes,
happy
please.
and excited to have this conversation with you. And I think in terms of the school, as a school, we're all about holistic education and of the children, which goes past math and English. We're interested in their
Mhm.
mental health, their emotional health. We focus a lot on values because it's the bedrock of success as well. And part of that is also nutritional health. And this is why this is an amazing session, and it keys into who we are and what we aim to achieve with our children. So thank you all so
Mhm.
much for spending the time. You've been an amazing audience, and I pray that you take some of these secrets and don't be afraid to hide these veggies in the food of the children, and continue to have conversations with them. Because what is very important is one, they need to understand. Once we know better, we will do better. And I wish success to us all in this regard. So thank you all so much. Thank you so much, Mrs. Toyin Onigbajo, for your time and for sharing your expertise with us. And I wish you all an amazing evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
too.
Thank you so
Thank you very
much.
much.
All right then. Bye-bye. Bye,
Bye
everybody.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.